Boxing has a lot of sayings, and a lot of people that like to sound smart when they're talking boxing, they like to use them. I'm gonna give you the classic one. There are weight classes for a reason. Okay, what's the reason? Can you tell me the reason? Can you tell me exactly what's the reason why weight classes exist? They never say it, but they always say that. And then they got the other one that a great small man can beat a good big man, but the great big man will always beat the great small man. Alright? Can you provide an example? Because I can provide you an example, a very recent example of when that was not true. The great cruiserweight champion Usyk came up and beat the great heavyweight champion Tyson Fury twice. And he also beat Anthony Joshua twice. Who, by the way, I know that Anthony Joshua's image has changed now, but back then Anthony Joshua was great. Olympic champion, all that. That time he did lose to Andy Ruiz once. He got it back. Everybody thought that as a fluke. Anthony Joshua, when he lost to Usyk, he was great. People thought of him as great. And then Usyk beat Tyson Fury again twice. Okay, that's a great example of when that saying is not true. So another thing that people like to repeat, and this became popular in the Joe Rogan podcast, is, oh, Canelo got so much better after he fought Floyd. Listen, Canelo was 23 years old. I know a lot of people like to say he was young when he fought Floyd. He was 42-0. He started professional boxing at 16. He already had an amateur record, then started professional boxing at 16. By the time he was 23, he was nearly an 8-year veteran with people in his resume like Shane Mosley. Okay? That's the kid we're talking about. They just do that. People just hate on Floyd Mayweather and they wanted to discredit him. If it was too early for Canelo, it was far too late for Floyd. He was 36 fighting a bigger man, a younger man, the guy that people deemed to be the next Mexican superstar boxer, and he did become that. But where's the evidence that he got better as he got older? Because that's the thing that they're gonna say now. Oh, it was too late for Canelo. Canelo wasn't the same Canelo anymore when he fought Terence Crawford, but he was too young for Floyd. Okay, so when was he the great Canelo? When he beat John Ryder? You know? Listen, Terence Crawford beat Canelo pretty much doing a lot of the same things that Floyd did. He's just quicker and he has better eyes, so to speak. He can see what Canelo's about to do before Canelo can do it. And I knew after seeing Canelo's fight with Skull, I knew, Terence Crawford's gonna beat him. Terence Crawford can do that and pick his spots to fight back and hit him with some stuff. A lot of people, when they get into boxing and they begin learning about weight classes and things like this, they're quickly to brush off as if automatically the guy at the higher weight class hits so hard, or it's just gonna knock the other guy down and he's just gonna hit him, and he only needs one shot. Canelo only needs one shot. And forget that schoolyard fight rules still apply. We've all seen smaller guys throughout our lives beat people in real life. But all of a sudden you learn a little bit of boxing, a little bit about weight class, and then you forget all that. These rules still apply. Okay, I know that Terence Crawford is 3 weight classes below Canelo. He's a pro boxer with decent power. He's not Deontay Wilder, but he has good power. And he knew he was going to hit him more times. To make pretend that a professional boxer that's 3 weight classes below you is going to hit you and you're just going to go through it like nothing is ridiculous. He's a grown man. He's a pro boxer. He wasn't just going to get knocked out like that. Not only that, he simply was just not going to be there to get hit like that. His defense is too good. His movement's too good. Canelo was just not going to catch him like that. And it's not gonna be one shot. When has Terence Crawford ever seemed like he's weak? I never seen weakness like that from Terence Crawford that I thought, well, if Canelo hits him, he's gonna get knocked out. He's not even gonna get up. I never seen that from Terence. So is Canelo the greatest Mexican boxer of all time? No, he's not. He doesn't come close to Julio Cesar Chavez or Salvador Sanchez or even Oscar de la Hoya. I don't think he's better than Marquez. Marquez knocked out Pacquiao, okay? Marquez knocked out a great fighter. Every time that Canelo fought a great fighter, he lost. With the exception of Shane Shane Mosley who was way past his prime, or the exception of Miguel Cotto, who also was way past his prime. But even a way past his prime Mayweather beat Canelo. And then Canelo fought another great fighter in Terence Crawford and lost again. Fell short again. You could argue that Triple G is a great fighter. Personally, I don't hold him to the same level as I do a Mayweather or a Terence Crawford. I think he's really, really good, just not at that level. But even those two fights, because the third one, whatever. But even those two fights, most people think Canelo lost. Either one of them or both of them. So did Canelo really get that much better after fighting Floyd Mayweather, or did he just not fight people at Floyd Mayweather's level? I mean, most of the names I don't even remember, except for the Triple G's and the B-Balls. And really, we only know B-Ball because he beat Canelo. That was B-Ball's claim to fame. Before that, he was fairly unknown. You know, he fought John Ryder, like he fought that Turkish guy, or a way past his prime Kovalev, or Leon Smith. I mean, he fought Caleb Plant. He doesn't really have a lot of big names, really. You know, Canelo's kind of did the opposite of what most fighters do. You know, most fighters fluff up their record early in their career. I think Canelo was taking tougher fights early in his career than he did on the second part of his career. He's really fluffing up the record now, you know, with a few exceptions again. But he's either picking fighters that are way past their prime or just not very good fighters. If you think about it, most of the names between Mayweather and Terence, like, they're very forgettable. Like not a whole lot of people are gonna remember John Ryder or a Rocky Fielding or these guys a few years from now. So what's next for Canelo? Well, where does he go from here? Because he's between a rock and a hard place. What's he gonna do? Go up to 175 and fight the guy that he's been avoiding in David Benavidez, or stick at 168 and get his butt kicked again with Terence Crawford? Well, you know what it would be a good time to do now? Jake Paul. And guys, don't let this loss against Terence Crawford make you think that, oh, he's gonna get beat by Jake Paul. No. Canelo would destroy Jake Paul. Okay, this was Terence Crawford. Canelo would destroy Jake Paul. But the thing is, Canelo signed a 3-fight deal with Turki Al-Sheikh, so we definitely know that he's gonna be active. We're gonna see Canelo again, but we know that Turki Al-Sheikh doesn't do gimmick fights, so I don't think Jake Paul's in the card for Canelo. I think it's probably gonna be a rematch. I don't know if it's gonna be an immediate rematch or if Canelo's gonna take a fight in between. I don't see Terence Crawford staying at 168 too long other than for a rematch with Canelo. I think this was a mismatch, and I think that's really one of the main reasons that Terence Crawford won. Other than he's amazing, it was also a mismatch in styles. Terence Crawford weaponized his speed. You know, I don't think he wants to stick around until Benavidez comes down to 168 and challenges him. And I already saw Turki Al-Sheikh asking on Twitter if Benavidez can make 168. I don't think Terence Crawford wants that kind of smoke at the age of 38 and just coming up to 168 when Benavidez is just massive. He's a massive 168 pounder if he can make that weight anymore. So I think Terence Crawford is probably gonna either rematch Canelo at 168 or go down to 160. I don't think he's gonna go down to 154 anymore. I mean, you got Sander Sayas, you got Fundora, you got some bad boys down there, some young guys. He's probably gonna go to 160 and pull out Charlo or something like that, if I were him. If I don't get that rematch with Canelo, which is easy work for him, I would go down to 160 and call out Charlo or something like that. Because again, other than a rematch in Canelo, you got guys like Hamza Shiraz, who knocked out Berlanga not too long ago, or Pacheco, the young Mexican boxer, or potentially Benavidez coming down to 168, or even Bivol. Bivol has also toyed with the idea of coming down to 168, and I really don't think Terence Crawford's looking to do any of that. Not necessarily saying that he can't beat him, but I don't think he's looking to do that. And if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. See you next time. And if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. See you next time.